Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. In the last episode, Yuuji got called away for work, which we still don't know exactly what his job was, and I don't know that we're going to find out. But the girls at the dorm were sharing their speculations about what it is that he does and who exactly JB is and what their relationship is. We still don't really know. But Sachi got to see something interesting. Whether or not she'll speak, I don't know. To be honest, coming back late to this sort of slapstick routine is kind of a bear, especially after hours of tension and strain on the job. My feet feel oddly heavy as I walk toward the dorm. Back when I was in active duty, I don't think this much would have worn me out. I guess I've probably gone a little soft since I entered this school. Unfamiliar music. Walking past the school building, I'm just crossing over the covered pathway leading to the gym when something ahead catches my eye. There's a light on in my window. Amane? She actually waited? Well, of course she did. There was no guarantee I'd even come back. In the first place, there was absolutely nothing in it for her. Why sit around in an empty room? Does she enjoy wasting her time? When people put a lot of time into something that produces no concrete benefit to them, that activity can often be classified as a hobby. Maybe sitting around patiently is Amane's favored pastime. There are a lot of bizarre hobbies out there, no doubt, and it's hardly my place to tell Amane how to spend her leisure time. Even so, I have to say she's probably better off finding some slightly more rewarding pursuit. I don't know. She's enjoying her pursuit of you, wink wink nudge nudge. Of course, whether I'll ever share that opinion with her is another matter entirely. Makino didn't fall asleep in the hallway. The instant I open my door to my room, the smell of domestic life floods into my nose. For a moment, I hesitate in the entrance, my hand frozen on the doorknob. The scent of another human being mingles with the lingering smell of some sort of cooking, forming a greasy, homey mix. When I was a child, and later when I lived with my master, this scent was ubiquitous, natural, but right now, it feels alien to me. My room seems strangely unfamiliar.
Okaeri?
Yeah, I'm home.
Hey, he did the proper greeting and everything. Slightly averting my gaze from Amane's unexpected smile, I glance at my wristwatch. It's already past 10 p.m. At my old school, we'd be past lights out by now.
Were you waiting for me?
I half expected you to say, kept you waiting, huh?
まあね。書き置きだけ残して部屋に戻ろうかとも思ったんだけど、やることもあったし。
What?
アイロンがけ。
I glance around the room. The clothes I left scattered on the floor earlier are gone. In exchange, a cleaned, ironed, and neatly folded school uniform sits next to Amane.
アイロンは海苔がバリバリに効いてる方がいいんだよね。
Yep, if I can move my limbs, it's not enough starch.
Yeah.
In my line of work, any uniform you wear is expected to be stiff as a board at all times. Get spotted with a wrinkle or two, and your superiors are going to give you absolute hell, as a general rule. As a result, I've got an ingrained habit of spraying enough starch on my shirts that you can practically prop them up like a tent after ironing. But I'm pretty sure I've never discussed any of this with Amane before. She probably just noticed my shirts are always crisp and reached that conclusion on her own. Not that this is anything out of the ordinary for her. She's got a truly impressive eye for this sort of detail.
それと、胸のところのボタンが取れかけてたから、縫い直しておいた。
She passes over the uniform with a smile. On inspection, there is indeed one button with a slightly different colored thread. It's been sewn on particularly firmly. The sight gives me a strange feeling of déjà vu. What is this feeling? Right. Back in elementary school, I'd been wearing a shirt with a loose button when someone stopped me, then proceeded to sew it back on right where I stood. My one and only sister, Kazumi Kazuki.
I see.
実は裁縫はあんまり得意じゃなくてさ、ちょっと縫い目がごつくなっちゃったけど、取れちゃうよりはマシでしょ？
Yeah, thanks.
Now that I think about it, hobbies aren't the only reason people act in unprofitable ways. Family. The word wells up spontaneously somewhere in the depths of my chest. Working for someone else without compensation, without any expectation of gain, simply out of affection, as if it's the most natural thing in the world. That's what family is, or so they tell me.
ねえ、晩ご飯はどこかで食べてきた？
No, I haven't eaten anything.
じゃあ、お腹空いてるよね。すぐに食べる？
Yeah.
待ってて。今温め直すから。
Smiling casually, Amane heads to the kitchen with light, graceful steps, then places a plate filled with sweet and sour pork and calamari rings into the microwave. Oh no, she's gonna microwave squid. Speaking of which, why is there a microwave in my room anyway? I don't remember it being here when I left. For that matter, there's an unfamiliar rice cooker sitting on the shelf next to it.
What's with the microwave?
ああ、これね。マキナが使ってたレンジなの。あの子、自分の部屋にはめったに戻らないし、もう使わないだろうから、ユージの部屋に寄付してくれるって。
Makes sense.
That rice cooker too?
そういうこと。3合炊きの小さいやつだけど、半合で炊くよりは手間がかからなくていいでしょ？
But I like my mess kit. I see. The scent that inspired a moment of unease when I entered the room was probably the traces of fragrant steam produced by this small rice cooker. Even as a kid, I didn't have much in the way of happy family dinners. But after my parents and sister died, I came to view meals as nothing more than regularly scheduled nutritional supply periods. And now, something inside me shrinks instinctively away from this sort of warm domestic meal. There's always this nagging, almost guilty sense that I don't belong in the picture. Of course, when I was living with my master, there were a few meals like this, but that woman was fundamentally crappy in the kitchen and rarely bothered to cook a full-fledged meal. The food she served me wasn't inedible, but it was never what you could call tasty, either. JB would occasionally stop by on a whim and whip something up, and the food was definitely an improvement, but it was hard to get too emotional about it knowing I was going to be cleaning up the mess she always left in the kitchen.
Hey, Amane. I think I've asked this before, but why do you stick around me so persistently?
だから、一目惚れって言ったよね。それプラス私の性格。なんか私って誰かの世話を焼くのが好きみたい。
You know, when she says it, I believe it.
Do you really expect me to be satisfied with that explanation?
だって他に言いようがないもの。っていうか、どうしてそんなに疑うかな？
Because it's way too convenient a story. I can't help but feeling skeptical.
A beauty with huge breasts falls in love with me at first sight, then unilaterally lavishes attention on me out of sheer affection? I'm not quite wet enough behind the ears to swallow that shoddy manga-style setup, and yet here we are. There's something else behind this. I don't think this is me being paranoid. It seems like common sense.
逆に聞くけど、ユージは今まで何人の女の子と付き合ってきたわけ？
-1.
I've never dated anyone.
だったらさ、ユージが知らないだけで私みたいな女がいたって変じゃないでしょ？
No, she has a point.
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess.
Can't deny that I've got gaps in my knowledge. If she declares this is just how women are these days, I don't have enough points of reference to mount a rebuttal.
自分に理解できないものをありえないと否定するのは簡単だけど、それって自分の無知を棚に上げた発言なんじゃないかな。
Actually, yes.
すぐに理解しろとは言わないけど、せめて世の中には私みたいな女もいるって事実は認めないと。
You have a point.
As a result of ignoring a reality I didn't want to accept, This country once marched blindly into a crushing defeat, mouthing flowery rhetoric about inevitable victory the whole way. In the same way, dismissing a perspective you can't understand as ridiculous is just an egotistical refusal to admit other ways of looking at the world exist. At the very least, I have to acknowledge that my values aren't universal.
はーい、お待たせ。用意できたよ。
Tell me something, Amane.
何？
Do you really love me?
Yes,
言わなかったっけ？大好きだよ。
no hesitation whatsoever. And yet, her words still ring hollow in my ears. Is the problem on my own end?
Well, fine. I guess there's at least one woman out there deranged enough to fall in love with a man like me, so I'll accept that as a reality.
何それ？つまり、私がユージを好きだって言葉、信じる気になったってこと？
Begrudgingly.
I'm not going to accuse you of lying, that's all. I still don't understand why you feel the way you do. And there's no change in the fact that I find overly convenient women vaguely nauseating.
あのさ、私の一方的な片思いなのは分かってるけど、それでもこうして海外しく接してくる私を少しは不憫だなとか思わないわけ？
I like that function.
If I started lying to you out of compassion and dating you out of pity, would you really be happy?
たとえきっかけが同情だったとしても、同情のまま終わるような女じゃないもの、私。
Alright, bet.
You're one hell of a tough, proactive woman, you know that?
惚れ直した？
To be honest, I'm envious.
いいからご飯食べちゃいなさい。
Oh, yeah, sounds like a plan.
I bring my hands together in front of the food Amane zapped with loving care in the microwave, give her my thanks, and move my chopsticks toward the plate. Sweet and sour pork and fried squid. It's one hell of a strange combination, thematically speaking, but the taste itself is impeccable as ever. Her skill at cooking is superb, and in contrast to her seemingly rough, careless attitude, she's unusually attentive to small details and highly considerate of others' needs. A good woman, any way you look at her. Of course, I think that's the exact reason I can't rid myself of my doubts. Why would she fall in love with me, of all people?
It's delicious.
そう？よかった。
Whatever the case may be, I think Amane's smile is probably genuine, and that's why it makes me feel like there's a thorn stabbing into my chest. Do I even deserve to be loved? I understand that I'm overthinking things, but I can't stop. Every time I get on this train of thought, I start wondering what I'm even living for, whether there's any real meaning in my survival. I start thinking, I must be a pretty pathetic excuse for a human being if I can't believe in that smile. When you get down to it, my master was right. I'm still just a punk kid. Just as my mouth begins to loosen into a self-deprecating smile, the sound of a cell phone's message alert resounds inside the room. I instinctively reach my hand to the breast pocket of my work clothes, but the sound didn't come from my phone, which would mean...
あれ、メールだ。
Uh-oh.
Amane takes out the cell phone she'd left carelessly in the pocket of her jeans, opens it,
Uh-oh.
and peers down at the LCD screen. Yep, I got a bad feeling about this.
We know what's
さっちゃん
coming.
からだ。
Yep,
何
100%.
Oh my gosh. Sachi, you said you wouldn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I messaged it. Damn it.
Yep.
It seems the message was sent from Komine Sachi's email address. At that name, my chopsticks abruptly stopped dead in the air. For some reason,
Yep.
I have a bad feeling about this.
うん。
Apparently finished with Sachi's message, Amane quietly brushes up her long hair with her free hand.
ねえ、ユージ。 これ、何?
A dramatic misunderstanding that could not be explained. Amane holds out her cell phone for my inspection. Naturally, Sachi's email is displayed on the screen. From Sachan to Suo Amane. Subject, I can't say a thing. Message.
Message, and I didn't see a thing. It's amazing.
Wow. The contents of the email are that single short line. The problem lies in the image attached to it. Okay.
That's okay, never mind. She did it. Yeah, that's clever.
That is even worse.
I mean, technically, look, clever. She didn't say a thing.
No, you're right. A picture is worth 1,000 words.
Mm-hmm.
It's a camera phone snapshot taken only a little while ago. Quite a skillful piece of work, really. In front of the school gate, JB's pressing her lips to my cheek, both arms twined around me.
Well, that was...
Involuntarily, I swallowed the food in my mouth, along with a lump of spit. It goes down my throat like a rock. Okay, Sachi. What happened to not saying anything to Amane? She didn't.
She technically didn't.
If anybody can figure out a technicality to get around something, it's Sachi.
100%, yes.
I mean, I guess she didn't technically put it into words, but... Well, this is Sachi we're talking about. I doubt she did this for the malicious pleasure of it. The burden of keeping this secret was just too heavy for her to bear. In agony, with guilt over Amane's ignorance, she probably took advantage of this dubious loophole out of sheer desperation.
It was just a stupid prank of JB's.
いたずら?
A prank.
Let's see. It's kind of a long story, but that's pretty much how she is.
Mind going into that long story of yours? What exactly were you doing with JB at the front gate? That's the logical next question for Amane to ask, but... JB is a naturally wicked woman, prone to harassing me in this way at unexpected moments just so she can smirk at my agitation. Would be my explanation, I guess, but it hardly seems enough to satisfy Amane. Unfortunately, it also happens to be the truth, so there's not much I can do about it.
アルバイトに行ってたんじゃなかったの?
Yeah, I was. Wait, that doesn't mean that this is my job, okay? It isn't.
He's a male gigolo.
ふーん。あ、そう。
Saying that, and that alone, Amane closes the cell phone in her hand with a snap, not betraying any particular interest. Oh, but the snapping of the cell phone says everything.
Mm.
That's part of the reason I miss flip phones, because it's just very satisfying to just smack.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Makes sense to me. You know, I sort of expected you to ask me about the job at this point.
Why should I care? I don't care. What'd you have for lunch today?
どこで何をしていたの?
I mean, I told you I worked for a cleaning company, right?
うん。
Well, today we were cleaning a 20-story building in Tokyo, but well, okay, this big rat appeared when we were still getting set up, so everyone ended up chasing it around. Thing was, though, the rat was unexpectedly nimble. We ended up losing sight of it entirely. If we just let the thing get away, it'd eventually pop out of its hole again and cause more havoc. And the client was telling us, I can't sleep at night when the rat's on the loose, all that. So we ended up splitting up to track the thing down. But for a rat, it was pretty sly. Okay, so it took a good 3 hours before we found it again and finally exterminated the thing.
I'm intentionally replacing certain nouns with metaphorical analogs, but the information I'm giving Amane is otherwise roughly accurate. I really did spend hours running through the intricate web of sewers under Tokyo in hot pursuit of a rat. Incidentally, a gas mask does absolutely nothing to improve the smell of raw sewage. I would not expect it to.
へえ、大変だったんだね。
Vicks VapoRub. We are not sponsored.
Yeah, I guess it was. But wait, that's all you have to say?
After promising I'd have a meal with her, I ran off to work all of a sudden, then stayed late without even giving her a call. Not that I possibly could have, leaving her to wait in vain for hours. And to top it off, her reward for this patience is a picture of me flirting around with my boss. But she's not planning to say a word of complaint? I mean, I'm putting up a bit of a defensive front and all, But even I recognize that she kind of got shafted on this one. Later. But if she grumbled a little bit, I was pretty much ready to give her a proper apology. But this indifferent response is well outside the range of my expectations. To be honest, it's inspiring some serious unease on my part. Generally, aren't women more, jealous creatures? I'm not exactly an expert, but I've known a few females in my time. As I understand them, women tend to be more selfish about things like this, to the point of irrationality even.
You don't have any questions about any of that?
んだって仕事の話に口挟まれるの嫌でしょ？それとも何か疑ってほしいの？
I really just wanted to say I can't discuss it further or I'd have to kill you.
Metaphorically, but also literally. I mean, that's not it, but...
まあそりゃね、私よりも仕事を優先したってのは面白くないよ。でもそうする必要があったからあんたはそうしたんでしょ？
Well, true.
Yes.
だったら何も間違っていないじゃない。
Okay.
Well, I guess not, but...
Amane's weirdly understanding about this. She's being so reasonable that it's somehow making me feel increasingly guilty about the whole thing. It's kind of a complicated feeling. All of a sudden, some kind of switch seems to have been flipped inside Amane. Her eyes narrow to slits and her lips jerk up in the very picture of a smirk.
そっか、もしかしてユージ、私に焼きもちを焼いて欲しかったのかな？
Maybe.
No, that's not really it, but...
そうよね。ユージはツンデレだもんね。それじゃあ、焼きもち焼いちゃおうかな。
But he's not a blonde.
Spare me.
キスしてくれたら許すかもよ。
Where? This woman. Exactly how serious is she about this? No, I think the real question is, how badly is she underestimating men?
All right, Amane, close your eyes.
強引。でもそういうの好き。
What is this lurve you speak of? Clearly confident this is nothing more than a bluff, Amane closes her eyes, jerks her chin up, and fearlessly sticks out her lips. This girl's looking down on me. Maybe I should teach her a lesson. Oh, we should teach her a lesson.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah,
セー
yeah.
ブするわ。
Definitely should teach her a lesson.
Lesson incoming.
This calls for shock and awe. Steal a kiss with overbearing force. Overbearing force. That's right. Unless someone scares her straight, this girl's attitude toward men is going to come back to bite her badly one of these days. I have a responsibility to educate Amane in the dangers of messing with men. I'll harden my heart and teach her a lesson she won't soon forget, with my lips. I seize the cocky girl's chin, firmly jerk it upward, and plunge my mouth against her glossy lips with all the sudden violence of a dive bomber assault. Surprise! Evidently surprised by my sudden attack, Amane's shoulders twitch as I draw her close. Heh, the fool probably didn't think I had it in me. That's what you get for underestimating the male gender. I temporarily release her lips, drawing back just far enough to speak a few words.
Open your mouth, Amane.
And we put some pork in her mouth. Wait, no, not like that. Hold on.
Wait.
Utterly bewildered, Amane's mouth opens slightly to voice her confusion. I instantly push my lips back against hers. Okay, that's going a little far.
I mean, to be fair, she basically did, this is absolutely 100% what she wants.
True, true. As I shove my tongue into her mouth, pushing her lips further apart by force, Amane grabs the shoulder of my work uniform and tries to pull me off, with no success, of course. Much the opposite, I lean into Amane from above, pushing my body weight down onto her to contain her resistance, and invade the interior of her mouth with my tongue. Her will to resist apparently broken by the force of my violent raid, Amane's grip on my clothes grows gradually weaker, finally slipping off powerlessly. And as if to signal her unconditional surrender, a weak, high-pitched pant leaks out of the corner of her mouth. Heh, guess I'll let her off the hook. I let the arm I wrapped around Amane's waist to prevent her from retreating go slack, then give her 2 light thumps on the back to communicate that I'm letting her go. Amane's upper body had been forcibly bent backwards by my weight. It takes a moment for her to regain her balance and pull herself straight. How do you like them apples? Finally released from my arms, Amane staggers back half a step, blinking her eyes in astonishment.
素直にキスしてくれたのもびっくりなら、唇にされるとは思ってなかったから2度びっくり。
What were you expecting us to go for?
Cheek, forehead, anywhere else? Well,
Oh.
maybe not anywhere else. Anywhere else above the neck.
Okay.
That would have been my assumption.
Huh. Didn't think I had it in me, did you? Well, shouldn't have let your guard down. Unfortunately for you, I'm prone to taking jokes seriously.
私、キスしたの
Oh.
初めてだったんだよ。
Shit. Well, ours too?
Huh. What a coincidence. Me too.
嘘つき。
Oh.
Damn. What gave me away?
なんか、ユージのキス、慣れてる感じがした。
Internet.
I see. I'll have to take it easier next time.
それは、この次もあるってこと？
Assuming that was the correct choice, yes.
I just said that for the hell of it.
なんだ、遊びでキスされちゃったんだ、私。
You know, I'm extremely surprised to hear you frame the matter in such a negative way. I bestowed you with a valuable lesson in the dangers of teasing men. My motives were unimpeachable.
Really?
でも、彼氏にはなってくれないんでしょ？キスしたくせに。
Well, let's not rush into any parliamentary procedures here. I wouldn't have pulled a stunt like that unless I was, prepared to accept something in the way of consequences.
The consequences were now dating.
それなりの覚悟って？
We're now dating.
Wait, what?
Listen, Amane, I can't be your boyfriend, but I'm willing to accept you as my girlfriend.
Okay.
ん？それってどういうこと？
That's the question.
Yes. You fell in love with me on your own initiative, and I'll accept that. But I'm not capable of making a commitment to you. I can't promise I'll be able to take care of you for the rest of your life.
I can't even promise you that I'll be able to take care of you for the rest of my life.
ごめん、私、バカだからよくわかんない。つまり、
Accurate.
私が彼女になるのは認めるけど、あんたは私の彼氏にはなれないってこと？
Apparently.
That's right.
つまり結局は、私はユージの彼女になってもいいんだよ
He's
ね。
like, I see this as a glass half full.
I mean,
Yeah, under, certain conditions.
どんな？
rule number 1.
Even if I disappear suddenly or drop dead out of nowhere, I don't want you to cry over me. Ever. That's the main thing.
それだけ？
Also, let's see. If I do disappear, I want you to do your absolute best to forget about me within a year or so.
You should forget about me.
うん。
I know they're pretty selfish requests, but if you can't accept these conditions, I can't do anything for you. We can pretend this never happened and stay as classmates, and
その条件を飲めば、私はユージの彼女？
Well, you'll have to sign this document.
yeah, that's right.
じゃあ、その条件、
Did you think this over? There's no reason for you to have an answer right away.
Well, of course she would answer right away. This is what she wanted.
Hmm?
いいよ。今決めちゃった方が気が楽だし、ごちゃごちゃ悩むの嫌いだから。
Alright, fair enough.
I see.
じゃあさ、私からも条件出してもいいかな。
Like what?
ユージは私のこと好き？それだけでいいから、今この場で聞かせて。
No choice. No choice.
正直に言ってもいいんだよ。
Let's see. To be honest, I think I've liked you for a while now. But I'm not exactly experienced with this sort of emotion. I don't understand how to describe my feelings for you,
But yeah, I think she deserves a clear answer here.
I do love you, Amane.
そうなんだ。じゃあ安心だね。よかった。それが聞けて。
Well, I think pretty much anyone is going to love having a convenient, devoted woman dropped in their lap.
私の粘りがちってやつだね。ちなみに、どんぐらい好きかって聞いてもいい？
Yes.
In a scale of 1 to 10, I have a logic error.
What? How am I supposed to measure?
大体でいいんだよ。例えば、宇宙一好きとか。
Can't say. Haven't had a chance to explore the universe yet.
そういう話じゃなくて、あくまでも例えばの話。
Alright, then hypothetically, if your life or property came in danger, I'd protect you even if it meant throwing everything else away. To tell you the truth, that's probably just about the only thing I can do.
And it's written here in Clause 37B. The responsibility to protect.
And sir?
That, at least, is a concept I'm familiar with. It's a bit of a catchphrase in my line of work.
じゃあさ、これでもう、私はユージの彼女？
Yes, you are.
Congratulations.
そっか。
I gave her a firm, decisive answer, but Amane's reaction seems fairly subdued. No spontaneous outbursts of joy, at least.
Here's your commemorative medal.
I guess a romantic relationship with this many strings attached is pretty unusual. Not really surprising that she might have mixed feelings about it.
ごめん。ちょっと座ってもいい？
Why?
Oh, there she goes. I kind of suspected that might happen. Before she can answer my question, Amane sinks unsteadily to the floor, landing in a sitting position with a light thump. All right?
What's wrong, Amane?
ごめん。なんか急に力が抜けちゃって、膝がガクガクしてるの。
You feeling alright?
なんだろう。急にキスされたのにも驚いたし、ユージの彼女になれたってのも嬉しくて。でも、なんか実感があまり湧かなくて。
It's like shock, but good shock.
さっきからなんか足元がふわふわしてるなって思ってたんだけど、ダメだ。腰が抜けたっぽい。立てないよ。
You're hopeless.
She puts up a consistently strong front, but when push comes to shove, it seems Amane's a pretty timid woman. Already thrown off balance by her first kiss, the impact of becoming my girlfriend seems to have been sufficient to rob her of motor control.
If you can't stand on your own, I'll give you a hand. What's that bizarre sound you're emitting? Are you laughing?
Oh, poor thing, he's never heard a laugh before in his life.
笑ってる。そっか。私、ユージの彼女だ。
What? Now the idea scares you? Well, it's a little too late for that.
そうじゃないけど、宝くじで一等賞が当たったみたいな感じ。なんかまだ信じられない。ねえ、本当に彼女でいいんだよね。
Aw.
I meant what I said. Nauseating.
あんたね、彼女に向かって気持ち悪いとか言わないの？
Oh, sorry. The sound you are emitting from your noise hole is nauseating.
Dear wasteful. Just stand up already, will you? Here, give me your hand.
立ち上がらせてどうする気？今なら私、力が抜けてるから何も抵抗できないよ。
What's your point?
だから襲うなら今だよってこと。ぶっちゃけて言うと、今なら抱いても OK だよってサインを送ってるのよ。
He tosses her on the bed and then leaves the room.
The hell?
Amane's trying to put up a strong front with the usual slut act, but it's decidedly unconvincing when her hands trembling and mine like a chihuahua with anxiety issues. Pfft, all chihuahuas have anxiety issues.
What's with the immediate leap into the deep end? Please don't tell me.
Alright, moving along.
きっとすっごく気持ちいいぞ。どうする？しちゃう？
This is the girl who's shaking like a leaf in the breeze. Don't get carried away, idiot.
With my free hand, I deliver a sharp karate chop to the top of Amane's head. Unfortunately, I didn't measure my strength and she's actually unconscious.
Oh well.
ちょっと。
Look, I'm not gonna vanish like smoke tomorrow. Probably not the day after that either. So don't rush.
Instead, we'll vanish like Sub-Zero?
なんか不安なのよね。
Or
あん
leave
た
the
の場合、
no, what is it?
本当に
That
ふ
move
っ
where
と
he leaves
私
the
の前から
ice
い
and
な
if
く
you
なり
touch
そうで
it,
さ。
you'll
You freeze?
freeze.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that move.
You're worrying too much. Just sleep for the moment, all right? I'll take you to the room.
おんぶしてくれる？
One of the rooms.
Yeah, I think I can handle it.
I lift Amane's completely limp body onto my back, carry her up the stairs, and escort her back to her room. This would be the second time I've toted Amane around like this, but her body feels lighter than before. Probably because I'm more ready to carry her, and she's more comfortable with being carried by me, because the distance we kept between us has shrunk. She's got a big body, but she's definitely a burden I can bear. That's not a very nice thing to say about your girlfriend.
It would always remind me of that one Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane issue.
Oh, yeah.
Will never not remind me of that because the cover is the best thing in the world.
Oh my gosh.
Just Superman carrying her off. Sorry, miss, but you're a lot heavier than the girl I'm usually carrying.
Says the man who can stop a freight train.
Let's say he can literally move buildings.
Uh-huh.
So it's 10 on 10 as a joke.
And so, as of today, Amane became my girlfriend. And we're officially on the route, I would say. Alright, well, unfortunately, we are going to have to call this one here. It's a shorter episode, but we had a lot of the build-up in the last episode, and we got to the crux of it, so now Amane is Yuuji's girlfriend. I'm very interested to know where this is going to go from here.
Me too.
She was so happy that she lost her motor skills.
Yeah.
That's how you know you did well, I guess.
I'm good with this. This is we've talked before about who do you have in your list and our top 5. We've talked about that before, I think, officially and unofficially. And, she's always in my top 2.
Mine too. I'm also interested to see how much Machina's gonna pop up in this, because, I mean, Amane's not quite a package deal with Machina, but they're pretty darn close. And vice versa, too, actually. I would be curious to see that in Machina's route, but that's still the route I'm least interested in. Especially with the setup that we saw for it. It's like, so to get on her route, you have to become her paid pseudo-papa, which feels weird in a lot of ways.
That I mentioned before about how it feels more Big Brothery than actual routes.
Mm-hmm.
That just makes it much worse.
Big Papa
Like,
E.
that's so bad. Like that's something.
It is
Yeah.
indeed. It is indeed.
I think like the routes I'm genuinely looking forward to. Obviously, this one we're on it,
Mhm.
and then Sachi.
Really, I'm curious about all of them except for maybe Machina, but there are elements that I'm curious about, but also
Mitsuru, I'm like not worried about, but like I'm interested in just to see how they try and sell it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure I buy it, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
if I want to see how they try and sell it to me, but I also believe I probably won't buy it without it. Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting too because a lot of the commentary has mentioned that there were different writers for different routes. The same writer did this one and one of the other ones.
Okay.
I know y'all told us in the comments, but I don't have the comment right in front of me, so I can't remember exactly. But I'm interested how that impacts things. And I'm curious, I'd have to look back and see if the same person was responsible for the common route or if that was a shared writing experience. Like, did they have different writers doing different scenes? Because I know that can very much change the vibe of a route.
Well, it's interesting if they all have different writers, then my question would always be like then your common route could lead to something or to create a type of character that then is not followed up on. Do you get what I mean?
Oh, totally, yeah, because it's like with Star Wars, where you have key characters change and their relationship dynamics change depending on who was directing and writing that particular film. Ultimately, the writer could either go along with what was established in the common route, or they could say, that's more of a guideline, and I'm going to introduce this as character development in a way that dramatically or drastically changes the character's core personality. Which can either be done in a plausible way, or it can be done in a way that feels contrary to the established character.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, thank you all so much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we hope to see you in the next one. For now, we are the Bridge Boys, signing off.